Hi everyone. If you're watching this video, that must mean that you want to know the secret to growing your construction business. So welcome. Did you know that 67% of homeowners use social media as their primary source to research potential contractors for their projects? So obviously it's a no-brainer. You definitely want to make sure that your business is visible to potential clients on social media. But you might be thinking, where do I even start? I just don't have the time for this. Well, that's why we've got Kelly Worrell here. She's a social media expert who specializes in marketing for construction professionals like yourself. And she's going to be sharing the top tips you need to know to get your social media marketing off the ground in just 30 minutes. So I'm going to hand over to Kelly. She's going to take it from here.
Thank you so much, Tenny, for that introduction. So for those who don't know me, I'm Kelly Worrell. I am a social media and paid ads professional. I focus mainly on Facebook, Instagram, and Google advertising exclusively for trade, construction, and home improvement businesses. I also own a successful construction company as well. So not only do I know how to effectively market a construction company in the marketing world, I also know how to grow a construction company. So I really understand the industry. I also renovate properties. So more importantly, I really understand your customers and what they're looking for, which is what we're really going to be talking about today in this webinar, how to maximize your social media in 2023. So hopefully by the end of this training, you will understand how to attract your ideal clients, the different content formats that you can use, how you can use a content strategy. We'll be talking about Reels and how important they're going to be in 2023. We'll be talking a bit about engagement and then finally on paid advertising. So firstly, how do you attract your perfect customer? It's all about creating FOMO, the fear of missing out. So let's be honest, 90% of the decision holders in the house is a woman. Don't shoot me for that. And as a woman who is regularly looking for new builders and new trades, I know what I want to see to help me make that decision. So am I sat at home dreaming about my beautiful new extension and what it's going to look like? Or am I thinking about brickwork? No. So I recommend keeping your during photos for your stories and your reels. Now, I see so many bricklayers on Instagram, for example, with lots of followers, but 90% of those followers are other bricklayers who are never, ever going to become customers. So I'm going to explain briefly how the algorithm works. The more followers you have of your ideal customers, the more Meta and Instagram will show potential customers like those your content. So if you have a lot of, say, bricklayers as your followers, what you'll find is when you publish content, Instagram will know that bricklayers are interested in your content and show it to more bricklayers, which makes it really, really difficult to reach people who are your ideal clients and therefore generate leads via organic social media. So that's how the algorithm works. And then here we're going to focus on 3 things in 2023 that you should be doing when creating your social media strategy. So the first thing is focus on visibility. The second thing is relationships. And the third thing is conversions. So with visibility, we use a variety of formats to reach people outside of your existing followers. Now, reach really helps your content to be seen by your ideal customers. And at the moment, Reels are really good for that. So we're going to talk more about Reels later in the webinar. Relationships are really important too. And I'm hearing all over the place that they're going to be even more important going into 2023. So we need to be human. We need to engage with your audience and build rapport with them. So as Tenny said before, 67% of UK homeowners surveyed said that their primary source when researching a company or service is social media. So this means it's really important to build those relationships so you can have an online audience of potential customers, whether they're ready to buy from you right now or next year. Once you have that rapport, it's then time to focus on conversions. You need to consider how you can add anticipation and FOMO, which we've talked about, in your content and carefully consider your call to actions. Remember, when you are posting content, always think about your customer. So say what they want you to hear. Don't talk about yourself too much, but what's in it for them. So there are a number of ways that we can increase our followers, and they include things like different content formats, sponsored posts, increasing engagement, Facebook groups, influencers, ambassadors, competitions, giveaways. But the most important thing is that we provide value through all of those different ways. So provide value to your customers so that they actually want to follow you. Because if you're constantly posting sales posts, you will find that your followers decrease quite rapidly. Now, one of my favorite sayings is this: likes don't pay the bills. So I try not to encourage businesses to focus too much on likes. However, the more likes you have, the more people you reach. And remember how the algorithm works. So it's all about reaching the right people. Another thing that I recommend doing at least once a month is checking your insights and see which posts are working well for your audience. Then repurpose that content. So have a look at the best times to post. Have a look at the best formats that you've posted, whether it be a carousel, a static image, a video, a reel. Also have a look at your hashtags and see which ones are the best performing. Once you have this information, you can then repurpose that content by making a few slight tweaks. Remember, you don't always need to create new content all of the time. Now, I'm going to talk about one of the strategies that I advise people to use, which is the FEAST framework. So this includes 5 different types of content. So we have fun, educational, ads, stories, and testimonials. Sadly, social media is time consuming and our social media feeds are getting more and more crammed. So it's important that our content stands out to our potential customers. When you create these different types of content, you can create them providing value to your audience. Now, there are a few things to consider. I recommend scheduling a minimum of 3 grid posts a week. And a grid post is a post that goes directly to your feed, whether it be Facebook or Instagram. Be as active as possible on Reels and use trending audio. Now, we will talk more about Reels later on in the webinar. I recommend using a scheduling tool. There are lots out there with free and paid versions available, depending on what you're wanting to do and how much you are wanting to be active on there. You can also schedule stories and use engagement stickers where it's relevant. And again, this really helps the algorithm so that Instagram can see that your audience are connecting with you and responding and engaging to your stories too. So as I said before, Reels are in and they're really, really important, and they're only going to become more important. Meta are doing all that they can to push Reels in an attempt to copycat TikTok. So what do Meta really want from us? They like it when we do things that they like, and they're really liking Reels at the moment. So there are a couple of third-party apps here that I've put on here that you can use to make Reels, or you can use Reels within Facebook and Instagram itself. These are all apps that you can use on iPhone and Android, and they are free, but again, also have paid versions. Now, things to remember when it comes to Reels is try to make your Reels in portrait ratio. So avoid square images or landscape images or video, and try to ensure that when you're actually taking the shot on your phone, you're taking them using the portrait ratio. You can use hashtags in Reels as well, and you always want to try use trending music. And if you can jump on the back of a trending music, then potentially your reach could be increased by quite a lot of non-followers. So here's an example of an ad campaign that we're currently running for a client. It's a simple step-by-step video using a tripod and some captions. So I'll let you know a bit later on this presentation, the outstanding results that this particular reel has had. As well as the content formats and reels, there's also engagement we need to think about. Now, engagement is so important, but something most people don't spend time doing. So I recommend spending a minimum of 10 minutes a day engaging with potential customers. Now, there's 2 types of engagement: proactive engagement and reactive engagement. So proactive engagement is commenting on posts of people that you're following, people that are following you, comment on posts under relevant hashtags. So if you're in a local area, it's likely that you will have a hashtag for your city or town or village. So try to get involved with commenting on people using that hashtag. Reactive engagement is responding to all comments, direct messages, And this shows the algorithm that you are being reactive to the people that are engaging with you. Always reshare when someone tags you in a story as well. Again, this really helps the algorithm. So as I was saying about scheduling tools, I just want to point finally on content is it doesn't have to be overwhelming. So you can spend a few hours batching out a month or even 2 months worth of content by using a scheduling tool. So if we think back to the Feast framework, that's 5 different types of content. If you created 2 or even 3 types of content for each of those FEAST, that's 15 pieces of content that you can schedule in an hour or 2. You don't have to worry about it for the rest of the month. I speak to so many people who say, I don't know what to post today, I don't know what to post tomorrow. But it doesn't have to be like that. If you schedule it, it doesn't have to be overwhelming and you don't have to think off the top of your head. So Creator Studio is Facebook's own scheduler. It's a free scheduler and it's also connected to Instagram if your Facebook and Instagram are linked. So you can schedule grid posts, stories, reels to both Facebook and Instagram. Now, Metrical is one of my favorites. It's what I use for my clients. Again, there is a free version or there's a paid version, depending on how much you want to do with it. Canva is where I create all my designs. You do not have to be a graphic designer. It's really easy to use. There's lots of templates available. And you can also schedule directly to your social media channels from Canva. So let's talk about paid ads. It's my absolute passion. And the reason it's my passion is because you can prove the return on investment and it's all metrics driven, which sometimes it's difficult to do with an organic strategy and building your brand, is to prove that monetary value. So boosting posts is not a lead generation strategy and something I see far too many businesses doing. So I say this so much across my social media channels. If you follow me, you will know boosting can be good as part of an overall ad strategy, but it does have a very low conversion rate. It's very limited on the audiences you can use. It's very limited on the objectives you can choose. It's really good for getting more eyeballs on your posts, but it's not great for conversion. So if you have a post on your Facebook page that you want more people to see, then I would maybe recommend boosting it. But if you want people to see that post and take action, i.e. request a quote or become a lead or go on your website, then boosting a post is not the best strategy for this. A lot of people do boost posts and that means it's very competitive and it can actually cost a lot more than what traditional ads can cost. So when you run proper ads via Ads Manager, this is done by business.facebook.com. The ads can only be created on desktop. You can't create them on mobile. You can review your campaigns on the mobile app, but you can't create them. So there's various different types of campaign objectives we can choose, and these are kind of categorized into what stage your customers are at with your business. So you've got the awareness stage, the consideration stage, and the conversion stage. I rarely use the awareness stage. This is very similar to boosting a post. So if you want to get more eyeballs on your post, but you don't want them to take an action, then awareness may be good for you. Once they're in the consideration stage, we use objectives for traffic, which is website traffic, driving people to your website, and also engagement. So people engaging on your posts or ads, whether that's liking, commenting, or sharing. Now, again, with both of these options, the objective is to get people to your website. It's not to get people to submit your contact form or request a quote. And the same with engagement. You're asking people to like and comment. Now, the one we focus on the most here is conversions, and this is where you can really generate revenue, whether it's leads or conversions or sales. This is used if you want people to take an action, whether it be submit your contact form, call your office number, or make a purchase from you. So in terms of audiences, it's not all about interest and target location. So when you boost a post, you can put in specific interests. You can say, I want to target people between the age of 20 and 50, and they live in 10 miles within this area. Now, there's so much more you can do with the ads manager. And one of my favorite type of audiences, which not many people know you can use, is what you call a lookalike audience. Now, this is most commonly used for top of funnel. So it's people that have never even heard of your business before. What a lookalike audience is it is a lookalike of an existing database. So if you have a customer list or a CRM or an email list, you can export them into a CSV spreadsheet and you can upload them to Ads Manager. And what you're basically saying to Facebook is, find me people who are similar to these people on this list. So if you've got a list of customers, they are your ideal customers, that because they've already bought from you. So you want to reach people that are very similar to them. Another audience that you can use is a custom audience, which is most commonly used for bottom of funnel and retargeting. So people that are already aware of your business. Now, it's 97% of people that go on your website do not convert. That is an industry general statistic. 3% of people convert when they hit your website. Now, if you have individual data, if you have Google Analytics, you can see your exact conversion rate on your website may be more than 3% or less than 3%. But generally, 3% of people that land on your website will convert. So I always ask people, what are you doing with that other 97% of people? Now, we all know life gets in the way. The tea's burning, the kids are screaming, you know, you haven't got the details that you need for the contact form, you haven't got your debit card. So there may be a genuine reason why they haven't submitted your quote form. And these are really, really warm customers. They've been on your website for a reason. So what we can do with a custom audience is we can retarget those people that have been on your website. And we can also exclude an audience of leads, which means we're only targeting that 97% of people. What we can do when we retarget them is we can say, hey, you've been on our website, and then entice them to request a quote, whether that be, it could be anything, 10% off, it could be free AAA glazing upgrade, you know, it could be anything. But it's just a reminder that we are still here, and we do find conversions very high from retargeting or bottom of funnel ad campaigns. So here's those real results that I was talking about. This is an existing client who started working with us on the 1st of October. These results that you can see in the screenshot are between the 1st of October and the 24th of October, and they use an ad spend of £40 a day. So in October, for them 24 days, they generated 116 leads with a total spend of £504. Which is amazing. So the cost per lead is £4, around £4. And these leads are worth on average between £3,000 and £7,000. So far in November, this client has had almost 200 leads in just 14 days with a total spend of £1,200. So ads don't need to be expensive. They just need to be done correctly. Now, if you do want more information on how I can help you with your paid advertising campaigns, then please do take a look at the options on my website, which is kellyworrell.co.uk. You can see it there in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Now, a final note from me, something I hear far too often, and I know if you're watching this, you're probably thinking the same, or you've said this before at least. Now, don't worry, I have listened, I've heard it a lot. And I've created this 22-page PDF download completely free, and it is exclusively made for trade, construction and home improvements businesses. It's called How to Stop Getting Shit Leads from Ads. Now, you can attract high-paying homeowners ready to spend through Facebook and Instagram ads. It's what I've been doing for 12 years. I've got a lot of results to show that you can do that. But every time I speak to somebody who says, you know, the leads are really poor quality, they're all penny pinchers, they're just trying to haggle, there is an issue there somewhere, whether it be with your targeting, with your spend, with what you're actually saying. So this free download really explains all of that and how to attract high-paying homeowners ready to spend. So if you do want to download it, head over to my website, kellyworrell.co.uk, and you can download it there for free. So I hope that has been really useful to you all. As I said, if anyone does want to chat to me about how I can help you, or you can check out some of my other free resources I have, then please either connect with me on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn at Kelly Worrell, or visit my website, kellyworrell.co.uk. I think the final note from me is really just try not to feel overwhelmed with what's happening in 2023 with your social media. As a business owner, it's important that you have the time to run your business, you know, and not having to think about, I should be doing reels, I should be doing paid ads, I should be doing this. You know, just hopefully some of the things that I've explained in this webinar will help you to feel a bit more confident going into 2023 with your social media marketing. But as I said, if you do have any questions, then feel free to reach out to me. Thanks so much for listening. Bye bye.